What's up? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am in the salon, but I'm filming something a little bit different. I'm going to be sharing with you how to take amazing photos of your clients for Instagram. So stay tuned. And I'm really excited to be here to share this video with you guys because this is a question that I get asked a lot. How do I take amazing photos of my clients for Instagram? So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the 5 main things I feel like make up a great hair photo. And I brought in a model, and so I'm going to actually show you on her how I get some amazing photos. So let's go. Alright, so before I bring in my model and show you guys on her, I first wanted to go over the 5 things that I think make up a really good hair photo. So the first one is good composition. Now, you might be wondering, okay, what the heck does that mean? Good composition is basically how the photo looks all put together. So if you think about it, you want to make sure that your photo of your client looks visually appealing, meaning you're not cutting off the top of her head or the bottom of her head or cutting off her nose or just part of the face. You want to make sure that you're being really intentional with your composition. So this can go into not only taking the photo, but also cropping the photo afterwards. So if you guys have ever heard of the rule of thirds, if not, go ahead and Google it. It's one of the main rules of photography, and it stems from the theory that the human eye naturally gravitates to intersecting points when the image is split into thirds. And so that sounds super scientific and technical, but basically if you've ever noticed on your camera how there's that little tic-tac-toe grid that comes on your phone when you're taking a photo. Well, that's the rule of thirds. And so you want to make sure that, again, your photos space out really evenly, that there's a plenty of white space around the client, that you're not, again, cutting off some of the hair or part of the hair or part of the client. We want to make sure that it's really visually appealing. So good composition is really important. Second thing is good lighting. Now, we all know that hair photography is really important to your Instagram, and good lighting is one of the main things that can set your photo from bad to good in just a quick change of lighting. And so for me, I love natural lighting. That's what I always recommend and always use. But I understand that sometimes natural lighting isn't something that's always available. Maybe you're taking your photos at night, or maybe you just don't have a really great area that you can take natural lighting. So if not, sometimes you have to bring in artificial light. And so I'm actually gonna show you guys with my model how I recommend using a ring light, which is probably the most common artificial light out there. Now, just as a disclaimer, I'm personally not a huge fan of the ring light. I personally recommend a softbox light. And I have all of my lighting resources linked at my Amazon favorites down below, so if you want to check those out, you can go there. But personally for me, I love a softbox because I feel like it gives off the most natural light. But I wanted to do this video with a ring light because I know that most of you guys, if you are using artificial lighting, you're probably using a ring light. So when I show you guys my model, that's what I'm going to show you on. The third thing is a non-distracting background. So obviously we want the focus to be on the client's hair. We don't want to see a bunch of crap in the background that doesn't really make sense. So for instance, you guys can see here, I have stuff in the background. This might be a little distracting. We've got some shampoo bottles back there. We've got a plant, but overall, this isn't that distracting. There's nothing that's like, ooh, that looks really bad. But when you're taking your photos of your clients, you want to make sure that there's not like crap in the background, like a trash can or another stylist working or your station or hair clumps in the background. That kind of stuff is distracting, and it's taking away from the hair, the beautiful hair that you just did. So you want to make sure that you're using a non-distracting background. Now, a lot of times the way that people do this is they just pick a white backdrop and say, okay, that's my non-distracting background. And yes, that works. And when I show you guys my model, I'm gonna show you guys a non-distracting background. It's just a door in my salon. It's nothing crazy. But you can also pick a non-distracting background with things in the background. It doesn't always have to be a white wall or a blank wall. You can have stuff in the background. You just wanna make sure that it's not distracting, meaning you wanna make sure that it's blurred out, that it's, again, visually appealing. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking of where to take your photos. Good lighting and a non-distracting background, they kind of go hand in hand when you're picking your photo locations. The fourth thing is high quality image. So we wanna make sure that you're using a good phone or a good camera to take your photos. And in fact, I'm gonna share with you later in this video exactly the camera setup that I use. But if you don't have a camera and if you're using a phone, you wanna make sure that you're using an up-to-date phone versus like an iPhone 4 or an iPhone 5 or iPhone 6, I don't even know. You wanna make sure that you're using the best quality phone camera that you can use. Nowadays, phone cameras are amazing and we wanna make sure that we're using the best. And I know I've heard the argument of, oh, I can't afford the newest, latest phone. But if you think about it, you just invested in shears, in blow dryers, in flat irons, in color. You've invested in all of those things, but you're not willing to invest in the camera, the one thing that's going to help you market yourself on Instagram, which to me doesn't make sense. So if you are using an older or out-of-date phone to take your photos, or even an out-of-date camera, it's time to invest in your career and treat that as like a tool, like you would your shears, your flat iron, your blow dryer. You wouldn't use something that doesn't work or is dull on your clients. Same thing when it comes to your phone. And the last but not least, the fifth thing is good hair. So obviously on this channel, I teach different techniques. I teach tons of techniques that have worked well for me. And the reason why I do that is obviously my first passion is helping hairstylists grow their business with Instagram. But I realized that good hair has to be part of that equation somewhere. And so that's why I started my YouTube channel, was to share more techniques and to help you not only grow as a hairstylist on Instagram, but to really grow your skills and techniques behind the chair, obviously giving business advice too, because so many of those things go hand in hand. But good hair is really important. If you have all the best lighting and all the best cameras and all the best whatever, non-distracting background, great composition, but the hair doesn't look very good, obviously you're not gonna be attracting those brand new dream clients who want to come to you. So you wanna make sure that the hair looks really good, and not just the color, not just the cut. Obviously those skills are really important, but make sure that the styling looks good, that there's something unique added to the hair, that maybe you styled it with curls, or you straightened it really smoothly, or added in a braid or accessory or something to just add a little bit of personality with the hair. Don't just blow dry it out and take a photo. Chances are you're probably not gonna get the best results with photos like that, so we wanna make sure that we're adding in just a little bit more to make that fifth element of good hair really strong. All right, so now I wanna share with you guys these tips and tricks in motion in a real life situation here in my salon with my model, so let's head over there. All right, so one of the things that I talked about that makes up a really good hair photo is good composition, a non-distracting background, and good lighting. So for her, we're gonna actually position her in front of my salon door. Now, if you guys have seen my salon tour, I don't have a ton of blank walls. I have a few, but the lighting isn't the best. And so we wanna make sure that we're positioning our client in an area that doesn't have overhead lighting. So this is kind of my area where I take a lot of my photos, especially at night when I don't have my natural light. So I'm going to position her kind of right here, and I'm always kind of moving my clients around, making sure that I'm positioning their body, telling them exactly what to do. And so we have our good composition, we've got a nice clean background, and then I'm going to show you guys how to use a ring light so that you can bring in a little bit more light, but there are some tips and tricks that you wanna make sure that you're doing. So one of the things that I see happen with ring lights all the time is they end up turning them all the way up. And you guys can see it's really blown out. Her hair's overly shiny. There's not a lot of dimension. And in fact, we actually took the color to a completely different color than what it looks in real life. And you guys can even see my skin. That's not really what my skin looks like. It's really bright. It looks like a really harsh flash. And so personally for me, I'm not a huge fan of ring lights, but if you do have to use a ring light, let me show you my favorite ways of using it. So instead of having it turned on full blast and putting it right up in the client, I actually like to turn it down to about 50% and actually pull it away from the client as much as possible. So we're still getting some of that light, that little bit of artificial light, but we don't have it directly on the client and really creating those harsh shine lines. So this is something, like I said, I see a lot on Instagram, that really shine light kind of look, and we want to make sure that we don't do that because that's not really what the hair looked like in real life. So pulling it back a little ways is going to make it a lot more natural. Now, one other thing that I like to do too is I don't position it directly behind the client. I actually like to position it kind of off to the side. And you guys will notice that I do have a little bit of natural light that comes in from this area. So I do have it off to the side. My natural light is kind of acting as my fill light, but I do like to have it off to the side just a little bit so that it doesn't have that really harsh direct onset light. Another thing that I see a lot of stylists do is they actually shoot through the ring light, and I don't recommend this. And the reason why is you want to have freedom and flexibility when you're taking photos. If you think about it, a photographer wouldn't shoot through a confined space. They're going to move around and move their clients. So don't feel like you have to shoot through the ring light or set your camera in the ring light to take your photos. You can do it by moving around, and that's why I like having the ring light a little bit off to the side, so that I can step in and take my photos this way. All right, so when it comes to posing your clients, a lot of times they feel more uncomfortable behind the camera, and if you feel uncomfortable taking their photos, it's gonna project this awkward energy. So we wanna make sure that we're taking off our hairstylist hat and putting on our photographer hat and actually telling our clients what to do, directing them, and giving them tips, because they don't know what they look like, and chances are they probably feel a little bit more uncomfortable than they do confident, and we wanna show off the confidence in them. So what I'm going to do with my client is I'm going to position her hair, and I'm going to have her stand up really nice and straight, and you guys can see she kind of has her arms kind of down like this. So this can be kind of an awkward pose. It doesn't really exude confidence, and she's probably not going to like that photo of herself. So instead I'll have her bring out her shoulders, stand up nice and tall, and I'll actually have her put her hands in her pocket just to kind of give more of a casual look and actually broadens her shoulders just a little bit. Another thing that she can do too is put her hands behind in the back pockets, and that also broadens the shoulders and kind of slims down the waist, which is kind of something nice, and most clients like that. So we'll have her do that, put them in the back pockets for now. And I'm going to have her bring her chin down and bring it down like this. Awesome. And I would take some photos like that, and you guys can see if I have her look up like this or down or this way, I'm moving her and directing her and telling her where to go with my hands. She's going to feel more confident because she knows what to do, versus if I said just look to the right, she's going to do something weird like that. She doesn't know what to do, right? That doesn't feel confident to the client. They don't know what to do, so you have to tell them what to do. And one other tip that I will leave you with is make sure that you feel comfortable touching your client. You just finished doing their hair for the last 3 hours. Feel free to touch their shoulders, to touch their hair, to fix their hair so that it looks really good. Again, if you take amazing photos of your clients, they're gonna wanna share those photos on their page and show off your business too. So that's something to really be thinking about, that you wanna make sure that you're not only showing off your work, but so that your clients feel comfortable also. All right, so the last thing that I want to share in this video is the camera that I use. Now, I get asked all the time, do I use a phone, do I use a camera? And if so, what camera do I use? So this is a Canon SL1, and I use a 51.8mm lens on it. Now, I've been doing photography for over 10 years now, so I've had a lot of practice knowing how to use a camera on manual settings, not just auto. So if you do want to invest in a camera, I highly would recommend learning how to use a camera on manual settings even before you really dive into it. So that's just something that you want to make sure of when you're investing in a camera, that you're gonna need to practice a little bit and learning how to use a camera before you start to get those amazing photos. So again, this is the setup that I use. I love it. It works amazing for me. And in fact, I actually have it linked in my Amazon favorites. I have that linked down below so you guys can check that out. But this is actually the oldest version of this camera. They don't even make it anymore, so I think the latest version they have now is the SL3. Again, it's a really great camera. I love it. It's really lightweight, and it helps me get a lot of that really beautiful blur in the background. And so I think, to me, it makes my photos stand out a lot. So that's the camera that I use if you guys were ever wondering. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Obviously, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to hair photography. I wish that I could include everything in this video, but this video would probably be a couple hours long, which maybe not a couple hours, but it would be a longer video. And so I wanted to let you guys know that if you're wanting to learn more about how to use Instagram to grow your business, dive deeper into actual hair photography, how to take other kinds of photos for your Instagram, and all of the strategy behind growing your business with Instagram, I have an online program called Oh Hot Grand, and the doors are currently closed, but I'm actually opening up the waitlist in just a few weeks. So if you want to get on the waitlist, you can go to ohotgraham.com. You can get all the information over there and you can join the waitlist. And I actually have an extra special bonus that I'm giving to people who join when they're on the waitlist. So I hope that you guys go check that out over there. If you're wanting to step up your Instagram game, that's where you want to be, and I know that'll be really helpful for you. I'm also going to be teaching a free online class in just a couple weeks too, and so I'm going to be teaching the 3 behind-the-scenes secrets to things that are working on Instagram and things that aren't working for hairstylists on Instagram in 2019 and beyond. And so if you want to catch that class, go ahead and sign up at jamiedana.com/free class, and that will get you signed up for the class. And if you're watching this video and the class has already passed and you missed it, don't worry, because I'm going to be teaching another free class in the future. So make sure that you still head over to that page, sign up for one of the free resources on that page, and you will be notified when I do another class. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. If you loved it, make sure to hit the like button below and leave a comment letting me know what you liked about it. And if you haven't already come over to Instagram and said hi, like always, come on over, send me a DM. I'd love to chat with you. And if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, make sure to do that too, because I do lots of fun videos like this and you're not gonna wanna miss them. All right guys, thank you again for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.